What up, fellas? We're out in the shop today, and we have a special guest in the house. I have a very good friend of mine who I've been racing with for years, my buddy Josh over at Finishing Lines. And I'd say about probably 5 or 6 years ago, we had his Sport Front Wheel Drive Integra out at it was IFO, I believe it was, Topeka 2017 or something, 2018, I can't remember exactly. We had a little mishap. Car had a ball joint and let go at like 180 mile an hour. The car spun out, just barely clipped the wall. Thank goodness he was safe. The car had minimal amounts of damage, but at that point the car had already exceeded its chassis cert, which was an 850. The car's gone like I want to say like an 846 or 848 or something. He decided he was going to tear the car down, go ahead and have like a 25.3 cage and stuff put in the car, bought a new front end and all that stuff, and the car had set. He's been really pushing to try and grow his business and has had very little time to work on this car. We kind of got together one day and he asked me, like, would you be interested in working on the car? The car's got a lot of work that needs done. I'm going to show you what kind of status the car is currently in and kind of give you a rundown of what it is we're going to do to the car in hopes to try and help him. So here's the car currently. As you can tell, it's got a new front end on it. He recently purchased Cybon carbon doors for the car. We've yanked the dash out. He's been in the kind of middle of trying to get carbon dash put in it. Check out some of this hotness. I mean, if you all don't check out Finishing Lines and check out some of their billet hotness, man, you all are behind on the times. Yeah, as you can see, he's got the 25.3 cage in it. Downfall to this car setting for so long is we run Q16 in this car, and the Q16 has been sitting in the fuel system for the last 5 or 6 years. Mainly what we're going to focus on, trying to get the front end fit a little bit better, get some quick latches all up in the front end, the front bumper and everything. And then we're going to get everything kind of fitted to the chassis, make sure all the alignments and stuff are pretty good. We got a little bit of work to do there. Let's get under the hood here. So we got to get all this fitted, and with doing that, let me see if I can pop this off. That one's off. I don't think this one's on. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Oh man. We've got the Logo Motorsports big boy weight plate that we got welded on. I went over to his house not too long ago, and we worked on trying to get that on the car. It's welded in, but it's not mounted yet, like fully. We're gonna do some new stuff. He was working on trying to make some intercooler brackets, because as you can tell, the intercooler is not really mounted. Core support's not really mounted. The radiator's kind of sitting in there wonky. Just some odds and ends. We're going to try and clean all this up. We're going to make some new brackets, supports for the intercooler, new supporting mounts for the radiator, all that. And then in turn, we're going to try and get some supports made for the upper part of the core support. He made all this removable. So we're going to go through and we're going to dissect all this, pull it all apart, basically start from the bottom and work our way up. The plate being such a big item, that's kind of what we're going to start with first. And then in turn, we'll go through and we'll start making brackets. I want to make some brackets off the weight plate to the intercooler, and then we'll make mounts off the intercooler to the radiator, off the intercooler to the upper part of the core support and such. And then in turn, we're going to try and adjust the front end, and then probably put some tabs on the weight plate for the lower part of the bumper. Plan is to get all this painted up once I get all the brackets and everything welded on it, and then we'll get that painted up, make that look nice. Like I said, the car's been sitting with Q in it, so we're going to get the injectors out. We're going to try and get those in the machine, see what those look like. I'm going to drain all the Q16 out of it, and I really want to get a bore scope, look inside the cylinder walls, check out the health of the engine, kind of see what the inside that looks like. And right now the car doesn't have any electronics in it, so I can't get it started and running just yet. But the plan is to get him to come over, bring the electronics when we get to that point, and see if we can get this thing fired up and running again, because it has not ran in 5 or 6 years. So that's not a good thing. But we're going to work on this and try and get this thing sorted out for him. Hopefully get this thing back on the track. I'd like to see this thing hit the track first part of the year next year. I'm really going to have to do a really good job on my end in hopes to get him to feel really good about how the car is in its state. And then I think that'll really light a fire underneath him to get him to really push to get the car back out this next season. So anyways, just kind of a rundown of what we're going to do. So first thing, we'll get into start dissecting this, getting this all tore apart, and kind of see what we're working with here. All right, so we got our little return line here, set up my bucket here, and got my little Chinese power probe. I think this came off Amazon actually, but it's an all tool basically power probe, and got my ground, my power hooked up to a battery over here since the car doesn't have a battery in it. And we're gonna try and pump all this fuel out here. See, we got a connection there. Oh, there it is. I might actually throw some normal gas in there and just try and flush it out. And yeah, let's throw some pump gas in here and just try and flush it all out with some pump gas. All right, so we got the front end kind of disassembled on the Balloonicorn here. And as you can tell, I got the coils and stuff out of it. I did already pull the injectors out, throw those in a tester, and they all tested good. I'm super amazed by the fact that these things have had Q16 sitting in them for about 7 years or 6 years or something. And I put them in, none of them stuck, none of them leaked or nothing. So very good sign there. I did go ahead and pull the plugs out, and a couple of the plugs had a little moisture on the end of them from something, but these things were tight. I thought I was gonna break my knuckles on the valve cover trying to pull those damn things out. I want to do a compression test, so I'm gonna grab my little, I don't know what they call that, but the little button. We're going to crank this thing over, make sure it cranks, make sure nothing's seized up. May end up, when the time comes, we'll go ahead and run the valves and stuff on it before we do a first startup or a first startup. But I'm going to get this sorted out first, and we'll see what kind of shape this thing's in. Getting into a little fab work today. We've got my brother's S10 out here that he bought kind of early season to try and replace the Ranger, because he decided he didn't want to put the twin turbo stuff in the Ranger. He wanted an S10. So he bought this truck turnkey, took it a couple track outings, didn't really have any much luck with it. And he said, you know what, piss on it. Let's just throw the Turbo LS in it. So he brought it over. He dropped the motor down in it. Got the motor plate mocked up on it. We've got to bolt that in. And then he bought some up and forward headers, same ones that I use actually on the red car, the red Mustang. We got some parts in the mail from Ace Race Parts today to try and start working on fab side, or the hot side part of the fab, and see if we can get the turbos placed. I've already got the flanges cut off of them. I've still got to cut a little bit more off this header here. All right, so we got some parts in for the S10 project that we've been kind of tinkering around on. Got the throttle body modified and stuff and welded on. The Race Parts Solutions billet merged there. We got some more stuff from Ace Race Parts, charge piping stuff, which I definitely didn't order enough of this 3-inch aluminum, so I'm probably gonna have to get a few more. And then got all of our V-bands and some more exhaust stuff here for the downpipes, V-bands for the downpipes, and then flanges to weld onto the turbo compressor housing to make it all like V-banded and stuff. I'm gonna get all this opened up. I'm gonna try and mock up some more parts here, start tacking some things together, and kind of see if we can get this thing all laid out here and get a handle on placement and all that stuff for the turbo kit. We're kind of in between projects, and the weather's been kind of crap, and we've been working on hanging some LED lights in here. This was my workspace before, like whenever I was doing welding and stuff, which now you look back there, you can see all those LEDs. Like, look how bright. Like, this was workspace. This is exactly how this is. There's still fluorescent lights on this side of the garage. But as you can tell, like this area here where all the fluorescent stuff is, super dark above the door. I put one here. There's gonna be another one on that side as well. And then there'll be 4 LEDs across this area here. How am I showing you? This area here. Yeah, that's where that'll be. There'll be 4 more there. Kind of like back here. See how there's 4 across back there? Yeah, this is like pretty much if the door was closed. Yeah, this workspace up here was just so dark, and just, you know, even the welding bench was dark. But yeah, my workspace here is really dark. Like, I've got a couple mounted here because I ordered 2 boxes, one, and then they come in tins. But I've just got the cable ran here, or the cord ran here to power these 2 here. And just look how bright this area gets. Look at that. Granted, this light won't be here anymore, but there will be another LED strip right here, and you won't get that yellow glow off that one. So this area will brighten up a ton. And then we'll have a couple LED strips here. I'm not gonna be able to center them because my attic stairs is gonna really screw me there. So I'll probably put one right on the edge of the attic stair there. And then there'll be one right here. So this area here will be super bright. There'll be one long ways across the back there, kind of up against the door, but like, look how bright the door even looks in the walkway. But now my workspace is way bright. But we're getting some new lights in this place. Hopefully it'll help with the video quality as well. You know, you get back here and like the lighting lights up my face way better. Now you can see all the junk on my face. And then like cars that we're working on back here, like look how much nicer that looks just in the camera. Doing some little upgrades to the shop, trying to make the videos a little bit better, but I gotta get back to it. Let's get back into the video. All right, so we're out in the shop, still grinding away on the, I don't know what we're gonna call this car or truck or what, but we're working on the S10 project for my brother. Working on getting the turbo kit stuff buttoned up. So we got all the piping and stuff made, the little billet merge, dual blow off valves. We got the wastegate merges and everything done. The downpipes all done. You know, and the turbo placement is pretty killer down in the front there. But overall, the turbo kit's coming together pretty good. It's most of the way done. The only thing I got left to do on the turbo kit side of things is we're gonna put Maven mounts underneath the turbos and mount them to the bars down here so the turbos always stay in the same spot. We can do that because the motor is motor plated to the truck. So we can make mounts and hard mount. It's basically just gonna take the weight off the headers and the little extension pipe there. Getting hot and cold and the material and stuff, it'll definitely just take the weight off of it, which is kind of what you want. And you ain't got to worry about trying to break a weld or nothing. But overall, it all looks good. Most all the material for the turbo kit, hot side stuff, came from Ace Race Parts. We did the little merge pieces here. We bought those from Monkey Fab. Monkey Fab's got, you know, little cheap 44 mil, 50 mil, and 60 mil merges that are all laser cut. So I ordered a couple of those. We were going to do the motion merges on those, but since the pipe was so short, I wasn't sure what was going to work on there, so we opted to go this route. I think overall it turned out pretty good, looks pretty good. We did the Ace Race Parts, like, I don't know what you want to call those, like Vangean style clamps, and then the Race Parts Solutions one up here for their billet merge and stuff. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. So we'll get the Maven mounts done, and then I got to put a couple bungs in the front cover, and then put the balancer on it, and it'll be done and ready for him to come in. Oh yeah, and then we've got to finish the wastegate dump tubes as well, so I got to get some material and stuff for that. I think it looks pretty badass. It's gonna be a cool little truck. Hopefully my brother can get it finished before spring. That way we can go testing early on in the spring, but I guess time will tell. And I don't know if you can tell, but we got all those LED lights put up. The shop is super bright, even just over the door here. Like you saw earlier, it was super dark over in these corners up by the door, but now I've got a fully functional area to work on stuff in pretty much every spot of the shop. But as you can tell, we got the BK in here, and this thing we actually got to tear apart. This thing's actually got a blown head gasket in it from one of the last outings. It may have been blown pretty much all year, I don't know at this point. But yeah, the lighting definitely makes a huge difference in how crispy everything looks. And then we've made some more progress on the finishing lines car. Not a whole lot of progress, but a little bit. We got the upper charge pipe and stuff fabbed up, and we've got the radiator kind of laid down, as you can see there. And then we put a new swirl pot on it. I've still got to get the blow-off valve placed on the car, but let me pop this off real quick and show you the mount and stuff for the intercooler and the radiator and the core support. All right, and here we ditched the pipe that kind of like wrapped around and then went down to the intercooler. We changed that up, put a V-band down here, made a little extension pipe, connected the turbo to it. And then here we've got the bracket that we fabbed that mounts the intercooler and the radiator as one. And then we've got our tab here for the upper core support. And I mean, even just that one bracket, I mean, made a huge difference in how sturdy this front end is. I've got one tab welded on the radiator or the intercooler down here. I've still got to weld the tab to the weight plate, and I'm going to put another tab on the side. I think we've talked about maybe changing some stuff with the up pipes as well. Everything up here is relatively done, like I said, with the exception of the blow-off valve, and it looks really good with the radiator kind of laid over on the side. Still got a couple little brackets, need to make a bracket for the water pump and stuff, and then we'll work on trying to get everything fastened on the front end and all that. So we're just doing a couple little odds and ends things here and there on the car when we get some extra time, but overall I think that's looking pretty good. Looks way more gooder. But just some little updates going on in the shop with the lights, project car, project truck. By the time you see this, it's gonna be Christmas. I might drop this on Christmas Day. So Merry Christmas to everyone. Thanks for following along on this journey with me. We're still growing, still making progress. And we're gonna continue to do this and document all the stuff we do here in the shop and all the racing and stuff we do when we travel all over the place. But like I said, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Happy holidays. we'll see you guys at the first of the year, and 2025, here we come. See you guys later.